I got another young Hispanic that's making a lot of noise in the city. My homie by the name of Young Jeanz. We're going to start this shit off one time. Whatever the mic. Run that shit. Let's go.
HustleTown Network interview with Jessica Jeanz on 97.9 The Box.
Hey, what's good? You're watching the HustleTown Network. I'm your homegirl, Jessica Jeanz, 97.9 The Box, late night hype. Make sure you check me out weeknights, 11 to 2 a.m. on 97.9 The Box. And we're actually in the studio today, and we have a special guest in the building, and we have out the north side, we have Young Easy in the building.
Yeah, Young Easy in here, you know what I'm saying? Messing with Jessica Jeanz and Infamous Tex, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the opportunity of being able to sit down with y'all.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you were here before, and the way that I met you was because we had brought ESG onto the show, and he had nothing but great things to say about you. Up until then, I probably hadn't listened to a lot of your music, so besides maybe the one with ESG, I had heard kind of circulating all over the internet, but other than that, I hadn't really taken a look in until you got like a cosign from ESG. I was like, well, let me check out this guy, let's see what he's got going on, and pleasantly surprised because I know that you're a young guy, but one of the things that I like about you is that you have an old soul to you. Yeah. You have a real maturity about you that I don't see in a lot of young people, or to me it makes you almost a leader. You could be a leader for your generation. So go ahead and talk about Young Easy and tell me how it all began.
Okay, well, first what you said about the leader is exactly what I mean about the leader. And I had just recently printed out this shirt, and you know I got it on my back.
Hey.
Is to create more leaders.
Yes.
Because many times, as a lot of people like to do, is they like to consider themselves either the main guy, either to a neighborhood or to a group of rap, like, oh, okay, I'm the main dude out here. But instead of being the main dude out here, people don't understand that the way I look at being a leader is I want all my people that are not under me, that are next to me, around me, to all have something that benefits them, so they can be able to be like, you know, we all hold our own ground. I don't consider myself under no one, but everybody that's around me is their own boss, and I would never be like, I'm the leader of this. Everybody that I do, you know, business with, as in music or just being around, I expect all of them to have the type of maturity and the type of being able to hold their own ground for their family as well. And many times we get that confused when you try to say, I'm a street dude. People got that confused, because to me, a street dude is one that takes care of his family and being able to provide for them in a way that they should. So that's why I consider myself a leader, because the things I do shows the young guys that are looking up to me, because there is a lot of good people that are looking up to me that are younger than me. I want to give them an example, because many times I've seen people from my neighborhood growing up that they were the old school ones, and then they'll just be doing the same things, smoking, drinking. So I'm like, just because somebody's older than you does not make them your OG. It's how you hold your weight to be. You could be an OG at 22 is the way I look at it. Like, you could be so being able to be like, damn, I look up to that dude. Like, I got a lot of props from perhaps ESG, j-dawg, because of the way I carry myself, and I carry myself like that because I want to show people that they didn't show me this is the way you can lead by example. Yeah. Let's all be leaders instead of just one person labeling themselves.
You know, and that mentality does show up in your music, because it's a lot of real talk. And then you're really good at rhyming. I mean, you're really good at spitting. You're really good at your bars. So very impressed with everything you've done. So how old were you when you first picked up a pen, or, you know, first started to record?
When I was around, like, my dad was telling me stories when I was growing up. You know, around 2 to 3, 2 to 4 years. I mean, not 2 to 3, like 4. We're able enough to be able to memorize and stuff. That I was, you know, hitting lyrics from the SPM merry-go-round, like word for word as a young kid. So
nice.
The rap's always been in my life, just for my grandma. You know, she would sing, and my dad was real talented at singing, and music is part of me. So when I was first started taking it serious, I say I was around, 10, 11 years old, but I'll just write in my notebook because at the time I didn't have the funds to be able to go to the studio how I do now. But I always knew if I had the opportunity and the funds to be able to do something, that I would be able to make a big mark on the world as I feel like I did in the north side right now. I made a big mark.
If they want smoke, we don't run from it, nigga. Better come correct, cause we ain't frontin', little nigga. Niggas out here tellin', I don't trust these little niggas. Bitch, I'm from the central, get to bustin', little nigga. We chase the guap, we chase the guap up. We chase the guap, we chase the guap up. We chase the guap, we chase the guap up. We chase the guap, we chase the guap up. These niggas out here tellin', man, them niggas some bitches. I'm gon' put on for my niggas that on the block in them trenches, that really bout action and running houses like riches. And I done made a whole lot that turn from silent to snitches. That's why I move how I move and just be minding my business. No matter what I do, I go far cause I feel with ambition. Always said that I'd be great and make it, never would listen. And said I stay trapping in the kitchen, wicking them chickens.
Wow, so the reaction's been really good. Your followers, I took a look at your YouTube, and the numbers are there. Anytime that we post anything, share anything, it's always great numbers. So I mean, it's been a while. How old are you now?
I'm only 22 years old. So the way I look at it is first, the reason why I don't get it, I don't want people to get things confused, because I might not do the best things every day, but every Sunday you catch me in church, and I'm listening to the word. That's how I feel I can be a greater leader too, by leading by example and showing him, regardless of what he does on the Monday through Friday, on Sunday he's in listening to the word. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but also I'm saying that I'm learning wisdom. So one thing I can also say is all the stuff that I got now, I used to pray about it, so I can never act and put under my Instagram and be putting hashtags as in self-made or I got myself here, because I didn't. I know that I was being able to pray growing up, and I was just like, if God, if you gave me the ability just to show the world that I have what it takes to do this, then I would be forever grateful. So now that I'm here, I know it's just God working through me. Even though sometimes, my music can be either make you feel sad or make you feel good, regardless of what. It's just, I know it's being able to God move through me, because I done touched so many people in the music that I got so many people just vibing to it, because it's the harsh reality of living in the ghetto. So I tell somebody like this, you take a rapper out the neighborhood, then he'll rap about something else, but until then, this is what I'm gonna rap about, and this is what I see around me. So I'm just, like a ghetto poet. I like to,
Yeah, and that's exactly how it sounds when you are, with your music. It does sound like you know how to talk to people. You can't always keep it PG all the time for people to understand what you're talking about. So for you to be able to lay it down in street terms, whatever it may be, and that reaches somebody, then that's you doing God's work.
Exactly. And one thing that I see too is many times we let it get to our heads, and because like I said, I was talking to somebody one time and they said, no man can put you in a position that you can put yourself. So don't ever think that your type of success is based on somebody that has the connection to get you where you're supposed to be, because no man can put you in position, but the only thing that man can do is allow people to be in your life, to work through them. So it was not by accident that I'm right here with Jessica Jean, Infamous Text, and the HustleTown Network. It was all destined, and it was all written in stone before, when I was going through things and stuff like that. When I pray about it, this is my prayers coming to pass. So I never believe in my head that I got myself here, because I know it's all God's work going into all the hard work that I've been putting in, all the music I've done released, and all the times and frustrations and all this type of stuff that got me to the level that I'm at today.
And let's talk about some of those things that you've done. So already at the age of 22, you've already had a few mixtapes. You've had 4 mixtapes already out.
I have 4 mixtapes already out. So that's one thing too that people don't understand is they'll see me all of a sudden, oh look, he got that song with ESG and j-dawg, but they don't understand that I've been working so much that I got a big catalog behind me. So when people start really getting hip to me, they subscribe to my channel and they see I have catalogs that goes as far back as 4 years ago, full of really good music. And I really I really knew it was gonna happen. It's just a matter of time. And then one thing you can never do is ever get mad at the next person that it's their time to shine, because one thing I've learned is their blessings are not meant for you. So when your blessings come about, it's gonna be because God knows you're ready. So I know that I'm taking forth about all the stuff that comes with it, and I'm here to do this, and that's what I feel that the rap game is missing. Because too many times, not to be offensive, we have a lot of yes men, and I'm not a yes man. Like I do my own stuff. I don't have nobody funding my music or stuff like that. And many times a lot of people like to get stuck and wait for other people to try to get them in position. But what you don't understand is nobody's gonna push your music the way you would push your music, because it's your music.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, it should be that way.
It should be that way. Like So, and then one thing I've learned too is, many times you see a lot of people don't want to give you that little push or being able to put you on there, because many times then people are scared if they give you that little push that you might catapult way past them. Because I know one thing about me is I cannot fake what I'm rapping about, and I've got really love from all types of people. But I'm able to walk into a room anywhere I go and get the respect of, man, I listen to your music, man, your music's cool. It's like a breath of fresh air, because I'm not trying to be something I'm not.
Right.
And there ain't no way that I can act and do this kind of things. Like, you cannot act in it, because I'm in the streets every day. So if I was acting, then somebody would have, hey man, you ain't really living that. Yeah, they would have checked me on it. I would have been like, so I'm what I say I am, and that's just what it is. I feel like there's a lot of yes men as of right now. There's a lot of good people, doing songs that are right now that I want to give a shout out to. I want to give a shout out to All the Chill Republic. Those are the ones that are by ESG's the group that he made. I'm giving a shout out to my boy, Solar the Cisness, and Loco. He just released a dedication, and somebody that passed away from my neighborhood, he was around when I was coming up, was Big Byrd. And those are the ones that I can actually say that they're not no yes man, and that's what I like to surround myself with, because many times we want to act like somebody is somebody's job to put you in position, but really it's not. It's like you got to put yourself in position, and by the time they figure out what you're worth, it'll be too late for them to contact you. And CG Promotions, he said, man, I see you putting up the numbers. I hit 48,000 in 2 weeks on the song Shooter.
Pull up with my motherfucking shoe. That's my motherfucking low. That's my who. Niggas sleeping on your easy, Freddy cool. How you rap that gangsta shit, but ain't a shoe. How you be rapping that shit you don't live? How you be frontin' on shit that you say? How you be ballin' but broke? Get you some money and go ahead and catch you a place. If I don't beef, I just go where you stay. Running your trap with that gun in your face. Bitch, I been on this since back in the day. Blessed that your homie to do me the race. Know that pussy is all in their face. Call up Deezy and then give them the play. Niggas wear flags to make them feel safe. Not good in the hood and we know that you fake. Cause when it get gangster, you run for the gates. I don't get tired, they calling me Gates. Put niggas on, they calling me Ace.
Whether or not people like to admit it, but I'm at some of the most popular names that are out right now that are on the radio. I'm keeping up with their numbers without being able to, just from the street love. And I mean, I appreciate him a lot for him believing in my dream the way I believe in my dream, so.
Yeah, it's a good look to have ESG and J-Dawg on the show. Like, wow, that's real love. And another thing is that I know you've done a song with J-Dawg, but he's also been in some of your videos where he wasn't even on the song, just coming out for love. Yeah,
and one thing I could say about J-Dawg, man, is that he's like one of the like a mentor, if you say. Like, every time I pull up on him, and it'll just be, I don't mind sitting in the car and he's just telling me, giving me the game, and 3 hours pass by and I'm like, this is just all the game he's giving me. I just soak it in. So the way we've met is I had did a song with I had met him at a show, and when I met him at a show, I performed and I paid an extra $100 because I was like, man, look, J-Dawg just got here, so I want to perform in front of him, because on that song I had shouted him out. So when I did that song, after I came up to me, he said, man, I see you, bro, like, man, get my number down. So the way that came about was I was just so hungry. I'll go everywhere with my CDs, so I'm everywhere. So I met him at the Slap Show before, and I showed him a picture. The come up was real. Like, you know, I went from taking a picture with him 2 years ago to him being like one of my really, really good friends. So I want to give a good shout out to J-Dawg, and to be able to say that where I came from and to have a song with J-Dawg meant the most to me, because he spoke for the ones that are like me and my friend right here, Cito, you know, and he spoke for us. Like, he gave us able to, you know, to feel a little bit better, like wherever we're going through, you know, you pop on some J-Dawg, whatever you listen to, whatever you're going through, you know, it takes the pain away, at least for the time till the song ends, you know. So that's how, there's one song that I like from him the most is J-Dawg, Move On. And he say, I'll be happy when they ask me for a pic, cause with all I deal with, sometimes I forget I done made it so far away from where I'm from, and still so much to be done, but I can say I won. See, that people don't know, like when he's rhyming, he's like really hitting your soul, and that's what I try to do. So when I first met J-Dawg, it was on strictly, you know, business, and you know, I met him, we did our song, and then after that, I did a big barbecue, and I had invited him over, and that's where the friendship, that's where it went from business to friendship. And J-Dawg, he seen how all my family was. We're so happy to see the dude that, you know, I was listening to, and you know, everybody in my family knows how much of a, you know, I wouldn't even say, like, I ain't afraid to admit it, like, I'm a real fan of ESG, and I'm a real fan of J-Dawg. So when I still see him, it's still like, I can't believe that, you know, I'm chilling next to him. So after we did that barbecue, we just locked in real cool. And then one time I just told him, I said, hey bro, look, I got a song coming out with Fit Ward JP called Shooter. If you can, bro, go ahead and pop up, you know what I'm saying? And he was just like, all right, bro, I'm gonna try to make it. So the day of, I hit him, he said, hey bro, I'm going through some things, and right now, sure enough, 2 hours later, I get a text saying I'm on the way, which was around the time that the video barely started. And I was like, hey bro, y'all can move back, because there's a whole bunch of people surrounded, because now that when I do videos, so many people attend. So I was like, J-Dawg's coming through, and they're like, J-Dawg, right on Force J-Dawg? I'm like, yeah, you know. So seeing him right there is just like, it's still kind of crazy. Like, this ain't even his video, and he's coming to come show some love. And I'm like, I tilt my hat off to them boys, man. Loco, SUC, and Solo the Business put up too. Those are my boys, man. They showed so much love, and that really meant the most, being able to be on set with them and stuff
real.
Like that, you know?
Yeah, that's real. And you know, you talked about, oh, by the way, I like that $100 put me up to open up next, you know what I mean? Kind of move. That's a G move right there, you know, to be able to be like, you know what, if it's going to be this extra investment to get me closer, to put me in a position and go ahead and doing that, I mean, that's what it's all about sometimes. And it made the difference, you know what I mean? So, yeah, kudos on that one. So, you've had all this music, and you, of course, because you've had these cosigns, for me, it got my attention. But of course, like I said before, like the music just speaks for itself. You have, you know, I went down a rabbit hole of some of your stuff. And so some of the songs that I did like that Shooter song. That was one of my favorites. Also, the We Ain't Hiding. That was another one that I was really jamming to. And I like that you also have a variety of music. So it's not just, okay, this is street. You have a song called Pray For Me. Tell me a little bit about that one and the inspiration behind that.
You know, really, I just look at it like this, like when you're living the way we living, it's like you don't know what can happen tomorrow. So I say, mama, don't cry, just pray for me. Load up them choppers, go spray for me. 24/7 grind faithfully, counting up money contagiously. Like, I'm meaning it by, I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, so I'm just like, you know, the way you gotta do it, the way when you're living the way you're living, is you gotta always tell your people, you know, how much you do care about them. Cause I done had so many times that I'll meet a friend, I had a friend, and you know, we grew up together, first grade, my boy Manuel Sandoval. And you know, when I was doing real bad, when I was, you know, before I had enough money, he had helped me out on something and was able to change my life around. And you know, right when he changed my life around and gave me the number to the person that, you know, changed my life, a week later he passes away. And it's just, it's crazy, because he's the reason that I'm able to be successful and have the money that I have, and being able to go out there to the studios and spend money on the videos and do all this and that. So it's kind of like a sentimental thing. Like, I'm pretty sure he didn't wake up that day and get to tell his mom, hey mom, you know, I love you. And because you never know when you wake up. So what I'm saying is, you got to just be prepared for everything. when you, especially you're still living where you're living, so you got to just be prepared for it. So that's why through my music I try to say something like, you know, telling my people whenever I'm writing songs that I love them, and try to be expressed for every day, because you know, you never know. So that's how I feel when I got the phone call from my friend Manuel Sandoval, and he got killed when he was only 19. This was like 3-4 years back, and it was hard. It was devastating, because I went in first grade with him, and you know, for him to be able to change my life, and then not even a week later he passes away. It's like, man, I really give thanks to him, because I wouldn't have been at where I'm at today if he hadn't put me in position. And 9 times out of 10, you never really find a friend like what he did. I gotta admit, it would be kind of hard for me to do the same, because I don't know how, like, he just, here you go, gave me the number, and then it was just like, you know, changed my lifestyle like that, like, and just without even having to worry about like, hey bro, like, nah, he just real, you know, genuine guy. And I give a shout out to his family, and I just want to you know, I know, pray that it gets better for him, because I mean, that's why I do the songs that I do, because I want to show you that, you know, what we go through is real struggle out here, and people are real envious. And now that you got the little bit of exposure that you do got, a lot of people will come out the woodworks and be on some hatred stuff, instead of being like, damn, I know him, and you know, he came up the way he came up, because everybody knows if they knew me back then, I didn't have what I have now. So being able to do that and being able to shine, a lot of people wouldn't like that. Like, you know, well, I know him, and you know, this and that. Instead of saying something positive, they're quick to say something negative. To like, why would you hate if you can do the same thing? You got the same 24 hours I do. Yes. You know, so that's why I just try to be real, connect to the people in my songs, you know. So.
Right, and it's very relatable, and I think that's what drew me also to that song, because everybody can relate to losing somebody, or you know, just, I mean, that's just an everyday thing. So I really like that track. Now, earlier we were talking about respect and getting the respect, and of course you got to give respect to get respect, but you do have a song, it's called Power, that talks about that respect.
Power nigga, all I want is power nigga, made a fucking living off this doty and this powder nigga. Power nigga, all I want is power nigga, ain't never falling off, I put that shit on my little daughter nigga. Stay in the trap, whipping the shit, you talking the talk, we living the shit, jigger finessing, I made me a killing, free my big bro, he locked in the prison, wrote me a letter and told me to get it, I'm catching it plays and active and sipping, I stay with the shooter like Jordan and Pippen, I said that I blow, but you wouldn't listen, from hiding my draw cause my grandma was bitching, when y'all was in school, I was out trying to get it, when y'all was asleep, I was up on the mission, stay out of the streets, but I wouldn't listen, in love with the hustle, I'm feeling like Mitch, rag to the riches, the crumb to the bricks, niggas gon' hate, but it come with the game, finessing these niggas straight out of their place, power nigga, all I want is power nigga, made a fucking living off this doty and this powder nigga.
Well, that song came from basically the way I feel is, many times, like, you know, a lot of people, they like to, you know, say that they're this and say that they're that. Everybody who knows me, they know that I do have the respect I have. Like, I can go anywhere, I can go really anywhere, and I got love from everybody. Like, you know, I really, you know, me and my boy, you know, we're really we're out here. So that's the way I look at it. Like, when I did that song Power, it's basically telling you the type of street respect I got, because really, if you're gonna be rapping that, like I said, anytime I go somewhere, like by myself sometimes, and instead of having somebody come up to me and be like, man bro, what's up, I get it more like, damn bro, you know, I like it bro, you speaking for the streets. And that's what I try to do is, if you're really who you say you are, then go around those people that you claim that you are, and see if they give you this type of respect. That's how I put it. Right. So if you claim that you like to specialize in gangster rap, then go surround yourself by the gangsters and see if they feel what you're talking about is real. Right. That's how I look at it. Yeah. So everywhere I go, you know, go somewhere and it's around the most gangsters dudes, you know, people that are really known from every neighborhood. And instead of getting one person be like, man bro, I know you faking what you're rapping about, it's always the same thing. Man bro, I appreciate what you're doing for the streets. We ain't had nobody speak for us in so long, and that's what I'm here to do, is talk for us. Because at the end of the day, my favorite rapper was, as in general, was, that's how I came up with my name Young Easy, was Young Jeezy and Easy E. So my friend was like, hey, why don't you just put Young Easy on there? So that's how that came about. So the reason why I like Young Jeezy so much is because what he raps about is so relatable, and like he's living day by day with it. So that's how I feel that when I rap, I want people to be able to turn up to it. You don't have to be necessarily a person that doesn't work a 9 to 5, because I really rap for those that do that. I rap for everybody. I just like to have money getting music. So you don't necessarily have to be a person that doesn't work the 9 to 5, because that's what I like to rap about. But you can be a person that works a 9 to 5 and just turn on that music and be able to be like, you know, something to turn you up, like power. You know what I'm saying? Like I said on that song, I don't want to, you know, cuss because I said cuss, but I said I ain't never falling off. I put that on my little daughter, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I said count up a check, you know, it's like, it's just stuff that makes people, you know, want to get up there and get it, instead of just staying stuck and rap about some depressing things that makes people just not be in the mood. And don't get me wrong, I got all types of genres, but I like to specialize in the money getting music so people can have something, you know, something to jam and being able to, you know.
Hell yeah. You know, and so when you say that song, to me, I just think like you have a lot of the, like I said, that old soul to you. You have a lot of good, as my grandma would say, consejos. You have a lot of good advice to a lot of young people out there. And so I think that's why, you know, the older OGs do gravitate to you, because I know I was listening, even some of the instrumentals, the beats that you use are real old school. I'm like, hey, this sounds like my kind of music from back in the 90s, you know, but then you still kind of have, you know, that new flavor to you, but you're still talking some like tried and true, just staples of like quotes and just real talk. Yeah, you have a lot of that.
You can't really cuss too much on here, right? Or you can?
You can.
Okay, so that's the reason why I ain't quoting none of my songs. I say I ain't hiding, I'm ready, I'm about to flex, you know. So what I'm basically saying on that I Ain't Hiding song, never hiding, that's what I'm basically saying is, on one of the parts that's real quotable, I said, if you ain't hustling for the fam, then what you do it for? You know, that's basically saying a lot of people, they do stuff for the wrong reasons. The flash, the shirts, the designer, that's cool, but how is your family doing? Like the stuff that you're rapping about, like this one song I just came out with, I say, big homie, but I'm 22. How you thuggin' with a 22? Got partners, blood or something in the crib. 40 on me with extended clip. Roll for niggas wouldn't roll for me. Let them eat and sell dope for me. So why the fuck you try home with me? Like he don't know the hood roll for me. Really be rapping the shit that I'm living, and some of them rapping the shit that they witness. My bread really good, so I can't be diminished. And fed the little homies, it made a percentage. My girl wanna chill, but my hustle relentless. See what they be talking, I don't take offense. It's too busy. Focus your mind on the bitches. You Instagram rich trying to press these little bitches. So that's what I'm basically saying is, you ain't gotta fake the funk, because people are really gonna be like, I know him and he don't do that. And that's one thing nobody can say, oh, okay, what is this and that. I rap for us. I like for people to be like, man, damn, bro, that I be turning up to your music and all the, you know, everybody jams it. I'm talking about school kids and, you know, people that got 9 to 5s. And I really like the reaction that I get from the real gangster dudes too. The ones that I'm able to be like, hey, bro, like, you know, they be jamming me and they, you know, in gangs or not in gangs, but they're just about what they claim. So that's one thing that I specialize in, is everything I rap about, I want to be able to have somebody that can back it up and be like, yeah, Easy's about that. And that's how I feel. Like many times with a lot of other people too, I give a lot of good advice to my little homeboys, and I tell them, hey bro, a lot of people like to say that they're OGs, but they're sending their little homies on crash dummy missions. I be trying to tell them, look bro, go out there, get you some money bro, you know, stay to yourself. Oh, well, it's cause this dude's talking. I'm like, I'm trying to bring unity. Regardless of what I rap about, I'm really showing these youngsters, hey bro, let's all form together and you know, squash the beef. We ain't got no time for that. Get some money, have something for other people to look up to you too, man. Don't worry about who said this or who said that, or what hood he's from, what hood he's from. All that matters is we all from Texas, so that's what it's all about, you know. Already. So yeah. So
you have a couple of bangers, of course, the ESG, some more.
I'm a hustler, about these hundreds. Nigga, watch me make some more. Watch me make some more. Watch me make it double. I'm a hustler, about these hundreds. Nigga, watch me make some more. Watch me make some more. Watch me make it double.
Tell me about that collaboration, how that all came about.
with ESG, man, that's my brother, man. Like that, it's crazy because my girl, when I talk on the phone, I like to go outside. So she's like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, and that's a shout out to my girl too. Like, she's been real supportive. My girl Monica, she's been real supportive in my music and being able to and okay, babe, we'll go do that. Not many times you go from, I was talking to a homeboy across the street, but then you start talking about, I just got off the phone with J-Dawg, I just got off the phone with ESG or Fitward JP. It's starting to be like, wow, it's surreal because you went from last year not just listening to their music and going to their venues and concerts to being able to have their phone number and ask them advice. And one thing about ESG, he's like a big brother to anybody who's around him. He's like a big brother. He's there to give you all the game in the world, and he's always there to talk to. So with ESG, he had seen the song I did with Lil Kiki called We From Houston. So when I did that song, he was like, "Hey bro, I like that street stuff you talk about, man." He's like, "Whenever you're ready, let's hop on the track." I said, "Man, ESG." I said, "I'm with it, man. Come on." So I did that song some more, and I had my dad write it. So that's what I'm saying. The music is for the 9-to-5ers, and it's also for the people that don't got a job, but they're making ends meet. So when I came up with the song, I had my dad in mind. My dad, he goes by the Wolf. When I wrote the hook, I write the hook for him, and it said, "I'm a hustler about these hundreds. Watch me make some more, watch me make some more, watch me make it double, double." And then I just come in there, man, I'm straight up out of Texas where we bought no place.
Sipping on the 4 or more, watch me rub my section. Cause bitch, I'm about whatever in this dope I'm stretching. I put it down for the H, I'm a Lone Star Texas. Remember being down bad, trying to count my blessings. Had to get up on my ass, cause my T-John stressing. See, I have an OG that's gonna teach me direction. On the intersection with that 40 Glock for protection. Free my niggas locked down in them Texas corrections. See many niggas getting knocked out cause they ain't passed their inspection. Tryna play that tough shit, get them laid on the stretcher. See, bitch, I'm from the streets, I'm a dope selling professor. They be hating on the low, but they ain't stopping me never. Never close a trap down, bitch, I'm serving whenever. Feel like Ace up in them cleaners, they like they don't remember. But now I'm in position, so I be applying the pressure.
I'm a hustler, about these hundreds. Nigga, watch me make some more. Watch me make some more. Watch me make it double, double.
I mean, like, that's what I be like rapping. Like, it's just so real because everybody that's listening to it, I done had a whole bunch of different races: Mexicans, blacks, whites, and dressed in suits. Like, that I have friends that work at the ones where they rent out exotic cars. He dresses real professional with a tie, and he's over there listening to my music some more. And it's like, I write songs for everybody, so you can never just make it about something, but you want to make it for everybody and still be able to relate to everybody in the song. So Samo was a good song to me because I had my dad on there. It's like I don't have to go far for talent. My tia Maricruz, she sings as well. I have her on some of my songs. Nice. And I have my dad for the hooks. And then I shot it to ESG and I was like, "That's my dad on the hook." He's like, "What? That's crazy." So ESG is the real deal, man. ESG is really who he says he is, and he's like a big brother in the rap game. And to be able to get that acknowledgement by him meant the most. So on the second verse, I say, what I said, linked up. I said, "This is for the ones that said I never link up with the ones that first rap by swangers, jamming ocean of the funk while I crawl on swangers." Because ESG is just, everybody knows him for that swinging and banging. So it was crazy, like jamming him and just being next to him and being able to be on a song with him and on video. It was still surreal because think about it. I did a song with Kiki, but it was more, I shot him the track to his email, so I never got to really interact with Kiki like that. So ESG was the first official H-Town pioneers that I got to really be around. So I'm at the video shoot and it's running kind of late, and I call Ms. Rocky and she's like, "Yeah, ESG's on the way." And all of a sudden I'm just doing something and it's like, "Look, hey, what's up, ESG?" And I'm looking, I'm like, we really came to the video. Like, it was just a surreal moment. And ESG is just really a genuine good dude, and he shows a lot of love, man. If you're asking for it, that's the way I look at it. Many times people are scared to ask for advice, but if you're willing to ask the advice, he's willing to answer it. And he's a good really good friend, and I respect him a lot. They just came out with a song today called "Save the South" with Yo Gutta and all the True Republic. So I mean, they're real good, genuine people, man. They show so much love.
Yeah, shout out to ESG.
Shout out ESG, Miss Rocky.
Yeah. So let's talk about menace to society.
A menace to society, addicted to fast living. My partner's up in prison and wishing that I was with him. I'm paranoid, got a Glock with hollows and extensions. I'm thugging. If they kill me, tell my real niggas get them. A menace to society, addicted to fast living. My partner's up in prison and wishing that I was with him. I'm paranoid, got a Glock with hollows and extensions. I'm thugging. If they kill me, tell my real niggas get them.
That one has been on repeat. Filling that one, of course, it's with J-Dawg. So we know how you met. We know the relationship you have with J-Dawg. So tell us about Menace to Society, where the track title came from, and the concept.
Okay, the concept was basically how it was in my house. I got a big family. Like I live with my tia and my dad. We all live with my tia. So I was raised over there in North Central, off of Fulton, and the block I was raised on was Elson. So it was my grandma's house, and my grandma passed it over to my tia. So we lived there for as long as I can remember. So basically, at my tia's house, you know, I mean, a lot of people, they don't like to, you know, talk about their past, but that's why I'm here for, to talk about and let them know the bad times, the good times, the come up, all that. So basically, when I was growing up, I'm pretty sure everybody watched Menace to Society. Mm-hmm. It shows where the little boy is coming out the room to a party, and that's how it always was at my tia's house. I ain't never really had my own room or nothing like that, and a lot of people, they like to make me feel bad for them, but I like to talk about that because the only time I had my own bed was when I bought my own bed. So when I got older, that's the time I slept on a, you know, couch my whole life. So basically, when it was like my tia, she's a real, you know, popular person, so she has a lot of friends. So every day, I don't know what it was, like, it's just people followed all the time. So it would be all her friends and all my uncle's friends. It was the spot, exactly. So I'll be asleep on the couch and then just waking up to, you know, people right next to you chilling, they're drinking. I'm like looking like that. I'm trying to sleep. They're right there. Everybody's everywhere. So it's like, that's why I said, growing up with parents like that, I heard a lot and I saw a lot. I caught on to the criminal life real quick. That's why I put that song for Menace to Society in the beginning when Lil Kane was walking out and he witnessed that. Because it was like, that's how it was in my household. There was like, you know, a party always going on, but my tia always made it work, made ends meet. So that's why I tip my hats off to her, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we were raised in the house. It was probably like 7 people in like 3-bedroom house. Like, so it was real jam tight. So that's how Menace to Society came about, because I always felt like, I tell people all the time, you cannot wake up and be a menace. You gotta be it from a kid. So I had my very first fist fight in North Central. I did everything in North Central. So basically, that's how I feel like the reason why Menace to Society came about, because my tia was the type, she didn't baby me, you know, but she was more on some stuff like, well, if you want to fight my nephew, I can fight in the front yard. So I grew up just, all right.
Yeah.
She ain't good, don't think, you know, because I say tia, because my dad, you know, and my dad and my mom, she was, you know, she was always working out as well. My dad, he was always working. So my tia, she was the one that stayed home while my uncle worked too. My Uncle Tito, man, he raised me. He's like I like to call him like Uncle Phil, like, because I feel like, you know how the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air related so much to me as well, because I was the nephew and I was raised with my tia and my uncle, so he was there for good advice and all that and stuff like that. But that's how Menace to Society came about, because it meant so much to me, because Samo, it's the come up. That's Samo's the come up. Menace to Society is the struggle and just the pain and frustration. Because the thing is, I tell people, I could rap about money because I got it, but I can also rap about the struggle because I've been through it. So I can rap about both and not lie about it. I can rap about the money and I can rap about the struggle and still be relatable to everything I write. So when Menace to Society came about was just because about how real it was. Like the very first fist fight I had, my tia coming outside just to make sure it's one-on-one. And that's how just Menace to Society is. Like, it's other people, they'll be like, look, they're fighting. Everything is just so normal there. Just, that's how we live, like Menace to Society. So when I came up with the song, it was so much sentimental value, because when I was watching that movie, I said, if you think about it, Cain wasn't a, Kane wasn't the suspect. He was the victim, and I feel like I'm the victim to how I was raised. So if I was raised different, then I'll be able to live different. But I don't regret nothing I did, because I was able to get intact with some of the realest rappers that, you know, J-Dawg, and that's like a how you say, like, you watch somebody on TV and you're like, damn, one day I want to meet him. That's somebody that was on my bucket list, even though he lived in Houston. So it was like, seeing him made the struggle feel a little bit more better. So that's how I feel with Menace to Society. It was just so much sentimental value because how I was raised, and to be the person I am today, streetwise. And I didn't graduate, so being able to have what I have and be able to take care of my family the way I do means the most, because I was sitting there. My tia would tell me, you know, I know you're gonna make it big in this rap thing. She'll listen to my flows before I could even record them, and she was real supportive. So, you know, being able to show my skills now meant the most, because she always believed that I can do so. So that's why I always said, okay, you know, I'm not gonna think about it like that. I'm not gonna sit here and get down on myself and start talking about what I did not have when I was growing up. But one thing I could say, a lot of my other friends, they had more cooler stuff at their house. They had, you know, PS4s,
right,
and I mean PS3s at the time, and they had their own rooms. Like, why y'all want to come chill with me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll want to come hang out with me, and I didn't have everything they had. They didn't care about sleeping on the couch that was right next. I'm like, damn, bro, let's go to your house. You want to chill with me? Like, cause I mean, it was just cause of how my people's charisma, like, they're so cool. Like, I mean, I feel like I was lucky to land the family that I did, because even though we didn't have much, it was just we're still fun to be around. We weren't the typical family. Like, there's always laughs, and every time we would, you know, eat good at nighttime and stuff like that. It was, you start forgetting about all the struggle things. You start noticing that this is what it's all about. So that's why I feel that I'm able to be fortunate enough to have the money like I have now. I feel good to be able to tell my tia and my uncle, like, look, let's go out to eat. I got it. You know, I'll pick up the tab, because many times when I was growing up, I didn't have the funds that I did have. So being able to, whenever there was the rodeo, they would take me with them to their family. So I was just raised with them. So it was just like,
it's good to kind of give back now.
Good to give back. I try the best to give back. Like, every day I can. You know, what's up? We're gonna go over there and have dinner over there, and then stuff like that, because I was just, you know, amazed of how, you know, because my dad and my mom, they're real busy, and my mom, you know, she has other kids as well, and my dad, he was always working. So, you know, it was more like I was caught in the middle, like between that, like, you know. So, and my mom, she's like the way I am. She's like a real, you know, go-getter and stuff like that. So, you know, but it was just like my mom was always on go, because she had other kids as well. So it was like she, you know, she had her kids that she had to take care of as well. So, you know, my tia, she was just like, you know, I was stuck in the middle, so I had no choice. You know, I had to go to. She was the one that would just give me all the advice I had, and I'll tell her what happens. I wouldn't keep nothing from her and let her know, and stuff like that. So that's what Menace to Society came about. Is the hook is a menace to society, addicted to fast living. My partner's up in prison and wishing that I was with him. Paranoia, got a Glock with hollows and stitches. I'm thugging. If they kill me, tell my real niggas get them. Like, when I came up with that, Menace to Society, it just meant so much to me, because that's how I was raised. Like, it was no faking that. Like, and many times, a lot of people, I'm like, if you have the ability to do something different, don't chase this rap shit. Like, because it's like 9 times, it's hard to chase. But if you're really talented, then you can get far. But if you have other choices, like if you're smart in school, then stay in school. Like, you know, like, do that. But I mean, I did it because it helped relieve all the stress I was going through and all kind of stuff like that. So I feel like I got as far as I did from just speaking the truth and being able to spit stuff that's relatable to people. You know, I'm not talking about no Bentleys or nothing like that. I'm not talking about
not
stuff
yet,
I don't
anyway.
have. Yeah, not like that. Nothing's wrong with it. I'm not talking about, you know, stuff that I don't have. Like,
right. So where do you see yourself? You see yourself owning those Bentleys?
I see myself owning those Bentleys very soon. Like, I see it like this. If I got this far in 2 years, then I know in 2 years from now I'm gonna be somewhere somewhere far for sure.
Yeah.
You know, so I just appreciate being on the show with Miss Jessica Jeanz. She done help me a lot too, being able to showcase my skills and being able to put me on this show. But like I said on Menace to Society, I'm gonna get into the first verse. I say, I'm busting at these niggas, I will never be the victim. Nowhere to run to, my partners is all convicted. The verses that I'll be spitting be the shit I'm really living and got me paranoid. My homies is trying to get me. The shit is getting wicked, exactly what I predicted. And waking up out my sleep and I'm sweating, my girl tripping. An outlaw to the world, they label me a statistic, no lie. This pot with money got me lost and addicted. And why I still smile with all the pain I inflicted. They be saying that I'm gifted, I'm fighting into the finish. Ones that claiming that their heart be the first ones to start snitching. Start signing out for David, so watch it, you keeping with you. I be staying by my lonely, I can't snitch on myself. So when it's time to do the time, I'm a thug by myself. Just making shit shake with the hand I was dealt. I run it up by my lonely, fuck begging for help. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so that's basically saying that, you know, the shit that I be spitting is real. And it's real. Like, I done got, the ones I got betrayed by most was hard, my friends.
Yeah.
Never was an enemy, because with an enemy, you know what it is. So you know you got to be prepared for them. The worst part you can get betrayed from is your friends. Because I'm the type of person, if I got it, you got it. And you should never mess anybody that helped you eat. So that's the way I looked at it. I'm so loyal to the bone. Anybody ever helped me eat, I just don't mess them over.
Yeah,
that's just how I am.
You're loyal for life.
Loyal for life.
But I think that comes from your upbringing, because you know of what you didn't have. I grew up the same way. You talking about, you know, living with a tia. It was almost like you were talking about my childhood. You know, I didn't have, you know, my own bed until I bought it myself, stuff like that. So it was, that struggle's there. So that's why I'm saying you're very relatable to a whole lot of people.
Exactly.
Like you from right now, you didn't know my upbringing, but just speaking your truth is speaking other people's truth. And I think that's what's going to make you even more successful. More of these guys are going to mess with you because of that. And I just see bigger things from you here. You're a genuine guy, intelligent guy. You got some really rhyme skills. And I appreciate all the old school references. You're talking about the Fresh Prince. You're talking about Menace to Society. You know, and there's an age gap between us, but you know, it's the way that you do the music that kind of bridges those gaps. So nothing but, you know, blessings to you and continued success. And I just really truly believe that you're definitely an artist that we wanted to spotlight. Definitely out of the north side, you're representing, being that you are a young Latino out here trying to change, trying to make a movement. It just really says a lot about your character. I think that you have an older soul and that you're meant for more.
Man, I appreciate all the love that I've been getting. And like I said, I'm here to stay, and Texas, you don't got you a yes man, so I'm gonna stand up for what I believe in. So if y'all don't like something, and you know, so y'all bring it to my attention, I'll be the one that go out there and put it on the burner for y'all. I ain't tripping for it. So I mean, that's how I feel like the world needs is more leaders, and not too many yes men that's gonna fall behind and think that one man can change your life, because he can't. Because if you think a man can change your life, then that's crazy. The way you gotta look at it is, I'm gonna let God work. So whatever path he brings me to, then I'm with it. So whatever sacrifices, whatever I gotta do, and whatever comes with making this dream possible, then I'm with it.
Amen.
So, amen.
You're watching an exclusive HustleTown Network interview with Jessica Jeanz on 97.9 Oakbox.
Hey, a motherfucking menace to society, nigga. Hey, a motherfucking menace to society, nigga. A motherfucking menace to society, nigga. Yeah, what up, young hoe? Hey. A menace to society, addicted to fast living. My partner's up in prison and wishing that I was with him. I'm paranoid, got a Glock with hollows and extensions. I'm thugging. If they kill me, tell my real niggas get them. A menace to society, addicted to fast living. My partner's up in prison and wishing that I was with him. I'm paranoid, got a Glock with hollows and extensions. I'm thugging. If they kill me, tell my real niggas get them. I'm busting at these niggas, I will never be the victim. Nowhere to run to, my partners is all convicted. The verses that I be spitting be the shit I'm really living. It got me paranoid, my homies is trying to get me. This shit is getting wicked, exactly what I predicted. And waking up out my sleep and I'm sweating, my girl tripping. And outlaw to the world, they label me a statistic, no lie. This power money got me lost and addicted. And why I still smile with all the pain I inflicted. They be saying that I'm gifted, I'm fighting it to the finish. Ones that claiming that they hard be the first ones to start snitching. Start signing out for David, so watch you keep it with you. I be staying by my lonely, I can't snitch on myself. So when it's time to do the time, I'm a thug by myself. Just making shit shake with the hand I was dealt. Run it up by my lonely, fuck begging for help. A menace to society, addicted to fast living. My partner's up in prison and wishing that I was with him. I'm paranoid, got a Glock with hollows and extensions. I'm thugging. If they kill me, tell my real niggas get them. A menace to society, addicted to fast living. My partner's up in prison and wishing that I was with him. I'm paranoid, got a Glock with hollows and extensions. I'm thugging. If they kill me, tell my real niggas get them.
Motherfucking menace, real Debo, nigga. Fuck a bike, I want your life, cuz zero feelings. Now I hate, I watch my brother blood off my J's. Since then, ain't no other way that we gon' play. Slide through the city looking like I'm crooked out. It's a blessing every time we get to bump into a high. Ain't no paranoia in me, I ain't scared to die. Nigga better than that pen, cuz I brother fry. Fog life, going out old dog way. Can't really. I wish you pussy niggas would come and play with me. Everybody singing Draco, Draco. But ain't touch nobody, ain't snatch no souls. Playing, but you better understand. It's different when you bump into a menace, can't blend. I still let them Denzel though, sit and watch it. Let them see they face when I come up on my body. Like a menace to society.
The fast living. My partner's up in prison and wishing that I was with him. I'm paranoid, got a Glock with hollows and extensions. I'm thugging. If they kill me, tell my real niggas get them. A menace to society, addicted to fast living. My partner's up in prison and wishing that I was with him. I'm paranoid, got a Glock with hollows and extensions. I'm thugging. If they kill me, tell my real niggas get them. I got them all mad cause I blew it from nothing. And these other niggas bluffing, they ain't made it from hustling. And I really got it pumping and tramping and had it jumping. Connected and got it buzzing, I'm the topic of discussion. They threw me in the jungle and it got me adjusted. Ain't no worth to living right when the life you living corrupted. Handle beef up in the streets, don't believe in the real justice. Tell my partner kill the 10, so it's fucky to all the judges. And keep my eyes open, I feel like I'm being hunted. But my chopper hold 100, give a fuck if they coming. And I always keep it true, that's the way that I was instructed. Only way up out the hood is rapping and shooting buckets. And trying to stay productive, but this shit be getting rugged. And put my life in danger, on my mama, I'm a buster. They say always trust the gut, so you know that I gotta trust it. If I ever gotta go, start unloading, I scream the fuck. I'm menace to society, addicted to fast living. My partner's up in prison and wishing that I was with him. I'm paranoid, got a Glock with hollows and extensions. I'm thugging. If they kill me, tell my real niggas get them. A menace to society, addicted to fast living. My partner's up in prison and wishing that I was with him. I'm paranoid, got a Glock with hollows and extensions. I'm thugging. If they kill me, tell my real niggas get them.
Yo, what up? It's the infamous Tex. And if you're down with the underground, be sure to support the movement by liking the HustleTown Network on Facebook and following us on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram at HustleTownNet. That's right, Latinos stand up.